I'm putting whiskey in my coffee in the morning and I need it to get me through the day. Or like throw things on my mother and like just freak out. So it was easier for my mom to just let me go and like
so you were kind
run
of
the streets
devious,
with my
kind
friends.
of defiant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just let me run the streets with my friends and like that was that. My like one of my friends growing up, she lived right across the street from my mom, knew I was gonna get to school if I was out on a school night. Like it wasn't like, you know what I mean? It was just easier for my mom and everybody else in the house because like my brother and my little sister were in the house. And
did you perform well in school at all?
yeah, I did great in school.
You were a good student.
Yeah,
even
I was
though
an
you were,
honor roll student.
At what age?
Middle school is when I started like actually I remember I think I was in like second grade and they told me I had a 12th grade reading level. Like I was a smart kid.
So wait a sec here. You were hard to handle for your mom.
Yeah.
In a sense, because you were just a little rebel, right?
Yeah.
But you did good in school.
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
I mean, I misbehaved in school for sure, but
Huh?
I misbehaved in school for sure, but in between class. Like I wasn't, when I was in class, I was like in class.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to do good in school. So I don't know. It just all got too much for my mom to handle. I was in and out of the psych ward because of the self-harm and the suicide attempts.
Suicide attempts as far as what, were you cutting your wrist?
No, I tried to hang myself at one point.
Okay.
I tried to overdose on my medication a couple times. So yeah, like
so was there some deep-rooted self-hatred?
Yeah.
Some trauma?
I don't know if there was like specifically any like trauma. I just think like just mentally I was just like not okay.
Okay.
Like honestly.
I mean, it's kind of
because like my parents did their absolute best always to get me help from the minute like that the school called and was like, she's not sitting still in school, you might want to take her to see someone. My mom made sure that I went to see someone.
Right.
Because yeah, like I don't know,
and is this why they probably diagnosed you with bipolar, because of the ups and downs and the highs and lows?
Yeah,
okay,
for sure.
So down the line, as far as substance abuse, how'd you get into that?
So I started smoking weed my freshman year of high school.
Was it the first substance you tried?
Yeah. And I went home the first time I smoked weed. This is actually a really funny story. I went home. I was supposed to sleep over my friend's house that night, but her and her mom got in an argument. So her mom drove us all home. And I was like, shit. I was like, my parents are going to freak out. My parents were dead asleep. I could have just went inside, got in bed, and went to sleep. No, what did I do? I woke up my mom and dad and told them that I did drugs. My mom's like, what drugs? And I'm like, I smoked weed. I'm so sorry. My dad's laughing, like trying to hold back. He's laughing.
Like, drugs?
Yeah.
Like that's minimal.
So my mom was just like, go to sleep. Please just go to sleep.
She wasn't mad?
Oh no, I woke up and my phone was gone and I was like, okay,
so there was
I'm in
some
trouble.
Repercussions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then shortly after that, I ended up going into like therapeutic group homes and I was in them through high school.
Sent by your parents, obviously?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they didn't want you to go down a bad path?
They just were concerned about not just that, but like my safety in general.
So therapeutic group home consists of people that may have some substance abuse issues, but also mental health. And
mostly it was mental health. Yeah.
So you're going there and it's a safe place for you to be amongst people your age?
Because I'm being monitored 24/7.
How old were you?
15.
And then did this happen often that you were in these places?
So I couldn't behave in those places either. So I was supposed to go away for like 6 months, I think, at first. And then I think that's when I would just start fighting the girls for no reason in the house.
You were a little fighter?
Yeah. And I can't fight. So I don't know why I was doing that. And then also I started dating. It was like my first girlfriend in my first group home. That's when I came out to my parents and everything. So, which that was always cool. That was never a problem. I mean, my parents were kind of just like, yeah, we know. Like, it's about time you let us know.
You never had interest in any boys or anything growing up?
I had one boyfriend, but it was like a 2-week thing.
Short-lived?
Yeah.
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 So when did you know that, like...
I knew when I was... before I went into the group homes, but because of the way I was already getting bullied for my mental health, like I wasn't it just like mental health wasn't as accepted back then, neither was being gay.
Right.
So
Oh,
I
you
wasn't.
mean like in your area? Or
It was starting. People were starting to come around to it
Yeah.
back then, but like
people hadn't yet opened their mind
no,
to it like
not
it is
yet.
these days.
Not yet.
To a certain extent.
Like, especially not for like lesbians. I feel like it would have been hell for me with the girls in school if I came out. And I have like other people I know that I went to high school with that say the same thing. Like they didn't come out in high school because of the same reason. Like it would have been just hell.
I understand that. A lot of my
Yeah.
gay friends say the same, let alone non-binary or trans friends too.
Yeah.
That for sure. Like,
Yeah. It's a lot different now.
it's a lot different.
I'm like shocked. I'm actually pretty proud of how it's like
Evolved,
yeah.
changed. Okay. As far as the weed, so you did the weed, then you ended up in those homes. Were you ever getting high in those homes?
No, because I couldn't.
You couldn't because you were monitored.
Yeah.
How long did that last, and when did you get out of those homes? Did you ever go back home?
No.
You never went back to
I
your
didn't
regular...
go back home until last year. I didn't move back in with my parents. Yeah, I never went back home.
Did you graduate on time?
Yeah.
High school?
Yes. That I did.
Good? Like, still a good student?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And then,
Still did my schoolwork.
so when you were done with high school, did you go to college?
No. So when I graduated high school, I left my last group home, and there was like a program where they got me my own apartment, furnished it for me, everything. Like I was set up. The only issue was the apartment was in Seaside Heights, New Jersey, which is a party town. And I had this little 1-bedroom apartment, and eventually that was like a trap house. Like I was throwing house parties every night.
In your 1 bedroom?
My little 1-bedroom. There was like 40 people in there sometimes. And because I was hosting these parties and letting people have like party in my house, people would give me drugs.
The drugs it was like a full supply.
Yeah, it was free.
What
like,
kind
I
of
didn't have
drugs?
to pay. So at first I was just smoking weed, and then I ended up getting really into like uppers, like Molly and cocaine. And then like there was one night where somebody was like, "Hey, here's a line," and I thought it was coke. It was meth.
Okay.
It was horrible. It was the worst experience of my life. And I was like tweaking out. I did not like it. I did not like the way I felt.
Yeah.
It was just like too much. And my friend gave me heroin to like bring me down. And I was like, okay, this is what I like. This is what I want. Where do I get more of
like
this?
the downers.
Yeah.
I was the upper guy.
Yeah.
Although I had my stint with the downers too.
Yeah.
Stints.
So, that just like, I don't know, I ran that apartment into the ground very quickly. And then my mom, I think it was like her friend from church, her son, who I knew as well, he went to Florida for rehab.
Okay.
And my mom was like, you should call him. And I was like,
And how old were you at this time?
19.
Okay.
I was like, why am I calling him? He does drugs. How is he helping me? Why am I going to call him? My mom was like, please just call him. And I was like, okay, I'll call him. And he was like, listen, like I have opportunity for you, like to come get help. Everything's paid for, your flight, everything. You just have to come here. You just have to want it. And so I was like, I don't know, like, I don't really know, dude, because I was like trying to do like outpatient, but I was still having these house parties and like it was just bad.
Right.
So he was like, please, like just come, because my mom had like right before that come down for a weekend and cleaned my whole apartment and like had found like, I wasn't shooting up, but other people were, and found like needle like stuff from needles behind my couch and just stuff around the apartment. And like she was concerned, like as any mother would be.
She would want you to get help.
Yeah. So I went down there and I did like a 30-day program, like detox first, and then I went to this 30-day residential program and graduated that, and it was like a day before my birthday, and I was also just really young. I don't think I was ready.
Right.
I think I was ready for a vacation. I had never left New Jersey or like the tri-state area. Like I wanted to go somewhere warm. Like
Right.
it was just like, okay, I could get the
Vacation
hell out of here. Yeah. So I decided to stay and went to like sober living out there. And it was, I don't know if it's changed in South Florida since then, because this was a long time ago, but like, like it was different like than here, like I got out and like, I had to go to IOP, but like here when I went to IOP after residential, I had like the sober living was connected. They got me to group every day. Like it wasn't like that in Florida. Like I was on my own and I was the only girl living in the sober living. I don't know if it had just opened or like what happened, but like it was just me and there was one other girl there, but she relapsed and I was like, this is whack. Like I'm going to go find something to do. Like, so I relapsed and I ended up going to another treatment center.
Relapsed on what?
I drank, I think, and I did like coke and took like a pill. Like a blue.
And then after that, you just went to sober living or treatment?
I went back to treatment. I just went to a different treatment center.
How did you know to go back to treatment? Did you talk to someone and say, I need help again?
Yeah. I went to like a meeting.
Was the person like a person that gets people into treatment?
Yeah. It was
good guy or bad guy?
So she was a marketer. Mm-hmm. And I think like at the time I wasn't really grasping what that meant.
Marketer, like a business development person for a treatment center, or a person that was like a third party?
She got into treatment. She got people into the treatment center and got paid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Per person.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
which in some settings it's called body brokering.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
And during that time, if I'm not mistaken, if you were 19, 20 years old and you're 20 what right now? 28?
28.
That was the wild, wild west, although it was happening on the East Coast, but it was happening both in California and Florida. Mm-hmm. It was very well known that people are getting people into treatment and getting paid large amounts of money, depending.
Yeah. So I went into this treatment center.
Did she tell you that she's going to give you money?
No.
Oh, okay. So she was making your money for herself.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I went into this treatment center, and the way they had it set up was like the PHP house, which was like when you're in residential and you're in rehab, and the IOP house right across the street from each other. So it was really easy to have that revolving door. Like it wasn't hard. Like you didn't have to go far. Oh, I relapsed. I just got to walk across the street with my bags. Like, and like, don't get me wrong. Like the people there, I think that if it wasn't for them letting me come back and forth so many times, I would have been dead. Just the way I was living out there. And they actually like, I don't ever think that they didn't genuinely care, but I also know that it was a business. Like, you know what I mean? At the end of the day. And, so I, went in and out of there for a while, and then like they gave me my phone back and I met a girl and I left to be with her. And I moved up to like Ocala, which was like 5 hours away from South Florida with her. And like, we just did everything, anything.
As in like partied, lived a lifestyle.
Yeah. Drugs.
There was no sobriety on the horizon.
No, there was none.
And this is like in your early 20s.
Mm-hmm. I wasn't even 21 yet.
And how long did that lifestyle last?
I want to say like a year, almost close to a year. And then we ended up breaking up, and I went to some kind of treatment center. I forgot where it was in Florida. And then my mom, was like, I was homeless at that point. Like the girl we broke up, she kicked me out. I had nowhere to go. All my friends were her friends. Like I had nobody. I had no insurance anymore. All I had was like Medicaid.
Okay.
So I flew back to Jersey, but my parents were like not cool with me coming home.
Wait, so you say you didn't have any insurance anymore, but earlier when we were talking, you said you've been to 15 treatment centers, about 15 times, right?
Yeah.
And see, when a person has insurance, to certain people that get people into treatment, they're a hot commodity.
Yeah. Well, before I lost my insurance, this was like, my dad hurt his back and lost his job, so I was under his insurance.
Right.
We had the insurance for a little bit after that, and then we kind of got screwed over on it. But I was in and out of that treatment center about like 12 times. And then there was like state-run facilities back in Jersey that I went to too that would take the Medicaid as well.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of treatment.
Oh, so those counted as the 15.
Yeah.
Now, when we were talking earlier, you have been brokered,
Yeah.
and how'd that work? Like, was that in Florida?
That was in Florida. That was with that girl that when I wanted to get help again. And
Did
then,
anybody ever promise you money?
Yeah, because they promised me if I could get my friends back home to come, that
They'd
or
pay,
like
they'd pay you
they
money.
pay me money. Yeah.
And they'd say like 3,000, 5,000 things. Like, did they ever pay you?
No.
So these were empty promises.
Yeah.
Kind of like bad drug deals.
Yeah.
Right.
Pretty much.
So what would you actually help them get people in, and they just wouldn't be true to their
I helped
word?
them get one person in, and once she found out that I was doing it because I was going to get paid, she left. So I think that's pretty much why they didn't pay me, was because she didn't stay. But I mean, like, I get where she was coming from, because that like sucks, you know?
But you also had a realization during this time that when you actually realized what you were doing,
That it was wrong.
that it was wrong.
Like, I like to like relate it to like human trafficking almost. Like, that's pretty much what
it is.
Yeah.
It is human trafficking, body brokering, human trafficking.
Yeah. So once I realized what that was, I was just like not for it. And that's when I left with my ex-girlfriend, because I was like, no, I'm not doing this. I'd rather just go get high. I might as well.
I had the director of the movie Body Brokers on my podcast once. His name's John Schwab. It was excellent. I mean, he was brokered himself. And if you see the movie, I mean, yes, it is a major motion picture with real actors that are portraying, but it like really breaks down the way that all was going down.
Yeah.
So you broke away from all that. You ended up going up to Jersey again.
Yeah.
What was it that took you so long? You got sober at 27?
Yeah. Yeah.
You ended up, I mean, obviously between early 20s to 27, that's a few years.
Yeah.
And a certain lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
What was this breaking point? What ended up happening for you, like in your later 20s, that you decided to get help?
So, I mean, like I was, when I moved back to Jersey is when I like met my ex-fiance, and for the most part, all I did was smoke weed when I was with her until I relapsed on heroin and fentanyl.
Okay. Were you a shooter or you smoker or what?
I smoked it and snorted.
Okay.
So she was a normie. She wasn't like used to any of it.
Right.
And I think that like I put her through a lot during that, and a lot happened, and like we were together for 6.5 years. So I put her through a whole, like, you know what I mean? Like, I've talked to her since, and I've been like, I'm so sorry, because like you didn't deserve to have to watch me go through that or deal with any of it. Like, I would be trying to get like off of it on my own, and like she would have to literally shower me and bathe me because I could not even take a shower. Like, and then, so I ended up going on methadone, and I was on methadone for about a year.
Up to, what was the highest dosage that you were on?
200.
My goodness.
Yeah.
From a clinic?
Yeah.
They put you that high?
Yeah. Well, because I was just like, it's not working. It's not working. Like, they just keep putting it up. But
was it really not working?
no, I just wanted to feel something off of it too. And I didn't want to die.
Was it getting you high?
Yeah. So
When you're on that high of a dosage, you're pretty much
yeah, I was just zonked all day. Yeah.
zonked. Yeah. Okay, so you realized you need to get off the methadone?
Yeah. So I got off the methadone.
What was how'd you have this realization that you needed to get off the methadone?
Watching people at the clinic that I've been going there since they were my age at the time, like 25, 26.
Just looking
and
all
they're
shot out?
Just like older now, and they've been still like like
Stuck.
Yeah. I didn't want to get stuck in that like routine of having to go there my whole
So
life.
a person that's in her 20s, you realize like that's not how I want to turn out.
Yeah.
I need to do something about
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. So I got off of it. They just like kind of tapered me down.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's how they got you off?
Yeah. It took a while, but they tapered me down. And then I think I just stopped going when I was at like 17 milligrams, which was a mistake.
Because then you had like major withdrawals?
Oh yeah. It was terrible.
Methadone withdrawals are no joke.
No.
So what'd you do then?
I started drinking.
Were you still having the withdrawals though from the methadone?
Yeah. But like the drinking helped numb it a little bit. I wasn't thinking about it because I was drunk all the time. And started drinking constantly. Like, it went from like just like I would get off of work and start drinking, but then it would be like I'm putting whiskey in my coffee in the morning and I need it to get me through the day, which I never really drank before. I was just like either doing hard drugs or just smoking pot, but I wasn't really drinking.
Whiskey in the coffee.
Whiskey in the coffee.
Now, you did have a mental break that brought you into a
Yeah.
mental health facility during that time, correct?
Yeah.
Psych ward. Isn't that...
No. When I called the psych ward to go detox there, but they told me about California.
Oh, okay.
So that wasn't with my ex-fiance. I left. I moved to Florida. I was doing drugs there. And then I came back home. Shortly after I came back home, my best friend overdosed and died. And then that sent me on a little bit of a spiral. And then I moved back in with my parents. And we were, you know what I mean? Like I got a job, full-time job. I was trying my best to like just like either like not drink or like not let anybody know I'm drinking because like it was just getting too much. So then I met another girl, and this is like always my downfall, as you can see in the story.
Sure.
Another girl, and she also had a drinking problem. She also had some mental health issues as well. It was a very toxic relationship. It was abusive. It was a lot to deal with for anybody, and I put myself through it being with her. I put my whole family through it. And I got to a point where I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I need help. Like, I can't. So I called this like psych ward in New Jersey who they also have like a detox. It's called Carrier Clinic. And I'm on the phone with these guys all day, like giving them my information. They're asking me questions, and then they're like, yeah, like, you know, so there's this place in California. We can get you there. We'll pay for your flight. I'm like, I'm not doing this again. And I hung up. And then I think, you know, like I got really drunk that night, and the next morning they called me back and they were like, are you sure? Like, you know what I mean? Like, from what you told us, what you're drinking every day, like, if you just try to stop on your own, like, you're going to die. It's not gonna, you know what I mean? And they're like, and if your insurance is gonna pay for it, like, all you have to do is tell your job you need to go out on disability. Like, it's not gonna be the end of the world. And I was like, just book the flight. Just book the flight.
And then you came out.
Then I came out.
So when you came out to California, were you serious in the beginning?
I didn't. So when I came out here, I didn't know that I wanted to get sober. I just knew that I needed a break. I needed a break from my life at home back in Jersey. I needed a break from my phone, from social media, from everything. But then, like, once I realized that it was so much different from what I've had like experienced before in treatment in other places, I think like my second day in detox, they were like, you could still rest for the next couple of days. Like, I was like, you know what? No, like, let me go see like what the group's about, what they're doing down there. And I really just like deep dived into it. I like was like, this is what I want.
You were at a point in your life where you wanted to do something different.
Yeah. Yeah, I was tired of living the same way.
A little older, a little more mature, a little more curious as to... and you took it serious. You took it by the horns.
Yeah.
And what I really like about you is that from what you had mentioned, the detox that you went to and then where you ended up going for treatment and all that, you seem to have surrounded yourself in a circle of people that are very, very serious about their recovery. I know them. I know some of them. And then I'd seen you a few times here and there, and then got to know you a little bit. And I like that you're doing the deal, like as far as like real recovery.
Yeah.
Right. You're not on anything anymore. You're not on methadone. You're not smoking weed, just smoking weed, all that stuff that a lot of people do. Earlier when we were talking before we were filming, I talked to you about like your apparel, like Dope Sick apparel, and like, do you know the history of it? You really didn't know, but it was like interesting to see. You know, there was a few very questionable places that were involved in starting that brand, but I like that you're over in Huntington now. You have a life that you've made for yourself. You're connected. You're really a part of like what we do in recovery. Right now, how would you say? How long are you sober?
A little over 7 months.
And how do you like your sobriety?
I love it.
Why?
Because like I wake up every day with a clear head. And I can like navigate through problems with a clear head. And I have gone through stuff in sobriety that I never thought, like, I'm like, that's going to take me out. That's going to take me out. And I'm still standing. Like, there's like, I think I finally just reached a point where I'd rather live every day with a clear head. Like even like the weed, like if you people do the Cali sober thing, but like you're still not living with a clear head. You still don't have a clear head every day. You're still fogging your brain up, and it's
with
like,
something,
yeah,
with a substance, with
Yeah.
weed. That's
So, like-
not sober. Yeah.
yes.
I mean,
No, I
maybe
agree.
for some people it is in that
But,
path
like,
of recovery, but
I just I like it. I
and
like
listen, I get it. Even weed right now, the whole Cali sober thing has been interpreted as harm reduction.
yeah.
Because if the person's not doing heroin or fentanyl, but they're just smoking
Yeah.
weed, then that's their recovery. With all due respect, if
it's keeping you alive,
if it's keeping you alive and you're not doing the other stuff, that's your recovery. You can call it whatever you want to. Sure, we're open minded to that. I can't do it for me.
yeah, I can't either. It's not enough.
I just can't because it'll take. I'm not just a weed smoker.
Yeah.
I'm
It's not
I'm a
enough.
speed smoker. All different types of stuff. So, okay. So with that said, also what's very cool is seeing the circle of friends that you have. There's a lot of young ladies and men that you guys are all like a unit.
Yeah. I love them.
Y'all have a lot of fun.
It's like crazy because like I have friends that I grew up with, I've known my whole life that like I couldn't call and tell them something and trust it not to be judged or like, you know what I mean? Like they're not even really my friends. Like I've just kind of been hanging out with them, partying with them. Like, and I came out here and I've known these people for 7 months and I feel like I've known them my whole life.
Exactly. You can open up to
They're
each other.
family. Yeah.
What do young people in recovery, just give me an example of like something fun that you all do that is fun.
So recently we went to a rage room.
Okay. And what's that all about?
So
Is it like there's more than just a rage room. What is it?
they have like escape rooms and stuff
Escape
there
rooms.
too. Yeah.
Okay.
But we just did the rage room part. It's literally they just give you a room full of stuff to break, and they give you things to break it with, like a crowbar, hammers, baseball bats.
Take out some aggression.
Yeah, and you throw music on and you just break it,
Nice.
and that was so much fun, so much fun.
And that was you and all the friends.
Yeah.
Lauren was on here too, and I know was she part of it?
No, she had to work
She didn't
or
end up
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was working.
Okay. And your relationship with your family is how?
My relationship with my family, me and my dad have always been very close. I've always been a daddy's girl. Me and my mom, we've gotten like closer. Like I was telling you before, like before my mom wouldn't even answer my text messages and we lived in the same house.
Right.
And now it's like, you know, she answers me. Christmas, she texted me and told me like the best gift that I got this year was you living your best life. Like, thank you so much.
It's powerful.
Yeah, it is, because like before I got sober, I can't tell you the last time my parents. This is also the longest I've ever stayed sober. I've never made it
beautiful.
past 90 days.
Awesome.
So
And you're going to be going back to Jersey to like some reparations?
yeah, my brother's getting married in October. I'm gonna be in his wedding. I'm a groomswoman. I'm very excited. I'm very proud of him.
Usually they're groomsmen, but they
Yeah.
have groomswomen.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. My little sister's his best woman.
I love that.
Yeah,
That is awesome.
it's so awesome.
cool.
I'm so proud of that kid. He's such a good kid. I'm proud of all my siblings. They've all like, we're all like, there's 5 of us and we have like a group chat and we all like keep each other updated on what we're doing and how we're doing. And it's like just really cool to see how like we all grew up, and like it took me a little longer than the rest of them, but I got there. And yeah, those are like my forever best friends.
Love it.
Yeah.
You make sobriety attractive, Shar. You know that?
Thank you.
I know sometimes you seem shy, but like really, thank you for being an example, being a person that's in their late 20s that, you know, when other people come in that are in their early 20s and say that you're old, at least you're someone that they can look up to.
Yeah.
For real. You
Yeah.
know, I know you live in sober living. I know there's never a dull moment in those areas, but I'm sure you have, you're a great example because you're really in recovery.
Yeah.
Like doing the deal.
Yeah.
If so, to our audience, to anybody that might be out there that might be struggling, can you put some good energy out into the universe and say something that might inspire somebody or help someone? Right in that camera.
It's never too late to pick up the phone and call for help. And there's always help out there, no matter what like you think is holding you back. It isn't. You can always get the help you need.
Thank you. Thank you for coming on Peggy's Recovery Corner today.
Of course.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun, right?
We did.
This was good.
Yeah.
If you are struggling, you can always reach out to me. My name is Pej, 310-596-9356. This is Peggy's Recovery Corner. Please do subscribe, share it with other people, like our page, let people know about it. You can find me in many different platforms. On top of that, I have a YouTube channel called Pej Interventions, and Pej's Recovery Corner is there too. Until next week, we will see you again. Much love to everybody, and thank you, Shar.
You're welcome.